It's also a 31-hour series. All the things that Prabhupada exist at Prabhupada and 31 hours is a lot. But the special feature of that is that you have 335 devotees who were there until Prabhupada had time and place, as you also found. Has anyone seen that part of that? Following Srila Prabhupada. If you watch the whole thing, you'll learn a lot. These are all first-hand stories from disciples, publishers, and all right, so we'll start with the phone.
Henry Collins. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. A hypnotic rhythmic chant of 16 words has replaced LSD and other drugs for some in New York's East Village. On 2nd Avenue and 1st Street is a storefront in which a Swami has set up shop. There, his American disciples are learning about Krishna consciousness.
Someone told you the story, you wouldn't believe it. Here he is. He's 70 years old. He has no money. He has no contacts. He has none of the things that makes for success. He's starting an effort, and it turns into an international movement.
I want to be what it is against which it is considered the land, so that the whole world may be happy.
Everyone was questioning. Everyone was searching for a better way of life.
The Prabhupada got here to light at that historical moment in time. He walked right into the middle of it.
Everyone is thinking, I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm European, I'm Australian, but I'm not this one. I am free soul. Our mission is to see everyone become happy. We don't want to see that we exploit somebody else and I become happy. No. We want to see everyone happy, but they do not know how to become happy. I was simply learning a history of New York. See, without any plan, without any need, practically it's just like a Bhagavan. some of my books on Bhagavatam. And I was personally selling these books to the booksellers with great delicacy. Being of a very expensive city, for the help of that. I got very much hope that I wrote one poetry. Krishna, how you have brought me in this country, what can I do? But because you have brought me here, must be there is some purpose. Now let make me dance everything.
Rather than being a hippie, I was more of a seeker, a spiritual seeker, because I didn't have long hair and I didn't really identify with the alternative and revolutionary movement. But there was something inside me that was searching for something else. The way I first met Prabhupada was I was on a crosstown bus in Manhattan on Grand Street, and ran into a person that I knew. This person on a scrap piece of paper said, "This is the address of Indian Swami who's lecturing 3 times a week, and I think you should go there." When I first met Prabhupada, I was very impressed with the fact that he was elderly and that he was very learned and that he was alone. And that made me feel like I really had to help.
I was wandering in the street and found a boy, Swami, and came to me.
The marvelous thing about Prabhupada was that he was so, in other words, loving. He accepted them, and he welcomed them into the temple. Plus he could cook like nobody's business. The food was a slam dunk.
The temple loved it. And every Sunday I was giving nice food stuff, at least to one another. And daily at least 15-20. I was cooking myself. They don't everything. They don't eat meat, they don't want wine, they don't want cigarettes, everything. My mission is to preach the philosophy of chanting Hare Krishna. This transcendence of vibration is equally appealing to everyone without any question of language, race, nationality, creed, or caste. Because it is coming forth from the depth of the soul.
Advancing out onto the streets as Japan 500 years earlier. He didn't even have a proper drum or anything. He was just, whatever he had, he just bonk on it just to make a little sound to keep the rhythm. But he had the name. He chanted with so much faith that it just drew a universe of people to him. He understood what could happen if the chanting of Hare Krishna made its appearance on the world stage.
In the time to be chanting of the vibration, mind clear, and then see their actual identity.
The thing that's extraordinary about the 60s is there were so many things being thrown into question. The world's a desperate place. We're destroying the planet. We're destroying one another. There has to be some other solution.
As a young man, Srila Prabhupada was looking for that. He was a Gandhi.
I was a student of Gandhi. In 1920, I joined the non-partisan movement.
But something happens when he meets a spiritual master. And he's reminded that there's another kind of revolution going on that's much more important. For a higher purpose, not a political end,
for the spiritual life.
At that time I was running my big furnaces and I was very well on that as a proprietor of the furnace. My business was flourishing.
Then there's another more urgent request from his guru, this time in the form of a letter.
Try to preach whatever you have learned from me to the people in English. That will do good to you and to the people to whom Krishna preach. That is my message. And then he passed away in 1936. And more, these young Americans, they came to me. Then I registered this Krishna Consciousness Society in 1966.
Do you have any idea what he was doing?
I said, I really want some of that. I said, I really want some of that. Whatever disease she's having, I want that. So this is the goal.
We had a wonderful life there. It was just wonderful. It couldn't be any better. It was as good as it could get. I mean, it was like a family. Then one day, he was trembling all over. Swamiji had a heart attack. He was, from all appearances, leaving this world. And so the devotees were fervently praying all night in San Francisco, all night in New York. We were praying to Krishna, please don't take him away. He's just coming. Please, we need more time.
We couldn't imagine what life would be like without him.
The heart was so weak, and I was very sick. I thought now I shall not exist. So that it goes without Friday.
We were lost. We just couldn't accept the idea that he might never come back. For 5 months we grieved.
Then we received word that Prabhupada was better. We got him back. Now we had to step it up. We had to learn as much from him as we could.
The energy that he displayed was unimaginable. I was in my early 20s and I could not keep up with it.
And then around the late 60s to the early 70s, ISKCON just exploded. People were joining left and right. He managed to manage everything through his letters. Prabhupada would be receiving mail from hundreds of students
And he would personally write to every one of them. Probably never got a letter that he didn't answer.
One has to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Personality of God. He reveals. He cannot be understood by speculation.
He would translate usually after everyone else was asleep. I'll say from 11 till 3, 4 in the morning.
The first necessity is that you should be self-sufficient. That is God's language.
Prabhupada advocated living in harmony with nature and having self-sustaining farms. And to also take advantage of all of the gifts that God has given us and not try to artificially change them, but take them as they come, as a gift from nature.
I understand, but do you feel that in the Bible, the Quran, and so forth, don't you run into conflicts at all or contradictions in those particular philosophies?
No, I don't find any conflict because the ultimate goal is God. So you have to understand God and try to love Him. So you can go through any religious process. If the goal is attained, that you understand what is God and you try to love Him, then your life is not.
He was fearless and he was bold. For years he kept saying, I want to go to communist countries. Everyone said, no, that's not possible. You just can't go there. We had just passed through the missile crisis in Cuba. To give a visa to Americans to travel to Russia in 1971, it's just unheard of. I don't know how it happened.
When I was in Moscow airport, as soon as they found Bhagavad Gita, they called me, custom check. The policeman was kind enough. He said, not serious on me. Don't send him in the urgent list.
As we would pass churches, you would see that there were armed guards in front of the church. Nobody was going in and out. Prabhupada said after, ordinary citizens of Russia are spiritual, but because of their leaders, they have no access to God anymore. I went to a bank to change some money. Outside the bank, there were two boys, and they came up to me. And they came back with me to meet Prabhupada. I gave him my Bhagavad Gita, and from that text, he was able to copy it and translate it and spread it throughout all of Russia during communist times. And from that one little seed, thousands of Krishna devotees came up. We all got a letter in late September with a list of 20 names. I want these people to come and join me in India. I just looked on the list, my name was on it, and so, boom, India at last.
He brought back Western Missouri, saffron, shaved heads, seekers, sacred clay, and women in saris. I mean, this was an incredible sight.
Americans, Europeans, boys and girls. And it just took India by storm. India had never seen anything like this besides from the West.
Prabhupada brought his followers back to India because he wanted to revive and tell the people of India that the greatest treasure is the heritage of your own country. You've forgotten it, you've neglected it. I've brought these people back to remind you of what you have forgotten.
Many would consider members of the Hare Krishna sect to be little more than a noisy nuisance. They've been labelled dangerous, religious fanatics, and lumped together with cults. But the Krishnas say they're simply misunderstood.
The anti-cult movement developed this theory that anybody that would join one of these movements could not possibly have done so voluntarily and had to be the victim of mind control. that they were brainwashed. Of course, Prabhupada admitted many times, yes, we are brainwashing. The brain is very dirty and we are cleaning it. This was a case, People versus Murphy. Criminal charges brought against two devotees in the Supreme Court of New York City. This was an attack on everything that we stand for.
Prabhupada said, our defense statement is the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the nature of devotion, the nature of instruction. He said, you present all of our books. He said, let the case go on for years. But the more he got attacked, the more energized he became. He was a fighter. Prabhupada loved a good fight.
In the end, Justice Leahy of the New York Supreme Court said, quote, they were reaping the benefits of a bona fide religion with roots in India that go back thousands of years.
You know that was a big victory for Prabhupada.
He who died without Krishna consciousness and chant and dance in ecstasy, worship and love of God, the whole world will follow you and it will be way to the Father in the whole heaven. Thank you.
Prabhupada believed that Krishna's love would supersede any obstacle. The idea that God's love is more powerful than anything else, and that it will come like a tsunami down the street.
He shares particular love for his followers and they share love with each other. That is the heart of what holds his movement together. And that was his last request. If you love me, please work with each other. Despite differences.
My dear boys and girls, my warning is already there. I had a severe heart attack. So, the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now in your hands.
He's not at all disturbed in his consciousness by the breakdown of his body. You could see here's a person that really understands he's not this body. I was there when he was still translating the Bhagavatam 2 weeks before he left the planet.
I came to your country single-handed with these pair of symbols. Now, you are so many chanting Hare Krishna. That is my success.
Everything active, moving, while supreme desire. This consciousness is Krishna.
That's just a taste of the full movie. The whole movie's 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute bar song. Who can that be effective? I remember traveling around premiering the film in Mauritius. In Mauritius, it showed in 2 theaters for 10 days, 5 times a day. That was 100 showings. Like on the 3rd day, I was coming out of the theater and I saw some teenage kids going into the theater. I said, we've seen this before. I said, yeah, we're coming every day. So it's kind of a universal appeal. Also we showed the movie to 4,000 Jains in their ashram. They requested to come and show the film. And they loved it. The head of the ashram. This is in Gujarat. So it's universal appeal. Prabhupada's story cuts across all racial and religious divisions. It's universal. It's a universal story of somebody given a task that seems impossible. They have ups and downs. Sometimes it takes a long time to start the task. Like in Prabhupada's case, 1922, without that order. And came to America in 1965. They always said that in Zion to start. So and it was fulfilled. I was very happy to see the kids in the front row. Basically, they were watching. Even very young kids from the first. So we had a wonderful time premiering the film and just seeing the impact. I remember we were premiering it at a multiplex theater in New York. And there was a film festival going on. And this filmmaker lady, she came out of one film and she saw a table. And she said, I want to see this film, but I want to know the film. She was very passionate, intense New York filmmaker. So she came back very quickly from our film. And I watched her come out of this film. Her face was completely transformed. It was complete transformation. It says a short time. But I've never seen any tool that we have to create such a change in consciousness in a short time. If you know of something, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue. I'm a film distributor now. But I just want everybody to see and please help me. We have a link, we have a weekly channel, it's free now, on Amazon, it still is on Amazon. Not many people are paying or renting phones these days, because they're so much. But it's finally on YouTube, and we have it for schools and colleges also. I carry the little preaching tool around with me. And everybody likes a good movie. For those of us who try to distribute books, it's not easy. It's a glorious service. It's absolutely necessary. Forever. But we've seen how many people don't take books. Everyone takes a movie for it. And they remind me of Krishna. Even if they don't watch it, they read Hare Krishna. It's the powerful. It's for those of us who have a desire to follow, all of us, I'm sure, have this desire to tell others about Krishna. And if we have a good thing, if we find something valuable we want to share, that's the mood of the time Mahaprabhu to share with everyone. Thank you for your kind attention. Comments or questions? How many saw it for the first time? Would you say anything? Good.
It was a very different experience. It was a very different experience. I did share with you before as well. It again came out clear that while the movie was all about how the movement started and how it spread, and how Prabhupada was putting all these energies and all these consciousness around bringing the Krishna consciousness to all of us. That was all there, but it was still centered around bringing Krishna across. The name, the chanting, the movement across. And that is the beauty of the film. So the producers, the directors, the script writers, I kind of salute to them that it's difficult to bring the holiness of the person who's doing this onto the screen and then project it in a way that all of us sitting here get influenced, even who are seeing it for the first time. They get influenced by it. So that's the beauty of the film.
Thank you. And Prabhupada never put himself forward. He always gave credit to his spiritual master and to Krishna. And that's Prabhupada's humility. And the reality is that any ability that we have is due to Krishna. Krishna says, I am the ability in everyone. We should never become proud. That's one of the problems in advancing in spiritual life. Sometimes we think very accomplished or very advanced. But the great devotees are themselves servants of everyone. They're not doing much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thanks for the wonderful movie that we saw. A couple of lessons which we learned from the story of Prabhupada is that we may fall down. There are chances that we may fall down in our journey in Krishna consciousness. The curve is not always going to go on a straight line upwards. But then Prabhupada taught us to be fighters. That never let anything let you down. Always keep fighting in Krishna consciousness, which is, I feel, such a big lesson for all of us. Because all of us face such difficulties. And even when we talk about our temple project, we face so many difficulties, and Prabhupada's blessings have actually helped us to fight at each and every stage, because that's a great inspiration which Prabhupada never ever accepted defeat. That's also important for us in Krishna consciousness, because there are going to be ups and downs.
Yes, we just stay on the boat, temporarily. We have a wonderful boat, we have a wonderful association on the boat, we have a wonderful spiritual master, we have favorable winds taking us to the final destination. We just follow the process and we stick with it, we won't give up, and then reach the goal. So just, I was coming down in an elevator with Prabhupada, top of the 14-story temple in New York City. He looked at all of us and he said, I want the privilege of fighting for Krishna. In the war. We're all in a war against Kama. This is why I was coming. We're wrapped in material energy, just in case. Naturally, there's going to be difficult struggles in the battle. But it's glorious for those who stick with it. Even if you give up, you take up whatever advancement you've made, it's never lost. I don't know if I told you this, I was in a conference room in Laguna Beach, California, and a person came in, he was an ex-sannyasi. He had a beard and long hair. He came in front of Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I'm trying to forget Krishna. I was shocked. Prabhupada immediately said, that is not possible. So once you've tasted spiritual life, you're finished. Forget everything else for it. It's all right here. I'm actually 82 years old now. So I've seen a lot, and trust me, there's nothing better. Singing, dancing, feasting.
The other thing that you mentioned probably yesterday is when you just mentioned even if we give it up, yesterday you mentioned if we give it up, there's nothing else to take. So the options are not there. That was a very important takeaway for us from yesterday's message. Thanks.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. It was a very inspiring movie of Srila Prabhupada. It was, I've been reading Leelamrit since the last few months, and just the way you have captured the days of the Master's gift time, and the Tompkins Square Park chanting of the Maha Mantra with Srila Prabhupada, and the mood that you have captured. Reading about it is one thing, we can only picturize it from the pictures that we see in the book, in the Leelamrit, but having a video, it actually gives a nice glimpse into how determined Srila Prabhupada was, how enthusiastic he was, and also how patient he was with all the disciples. You can see the contrast, like, this aging saint who has come in the middle of the Western world with all the young boys and girls, and the patience with which he is teaching everyone, and he knows what the end result is. And the disciples don't know where they're going to be in the future with him. But when he goes back with the heart attack, the Vipralamba Bhav, the mood of separation, it increases the devotion in the disciples. That was very beautifully highlighted when you showed how he returned, the first glimpse of him in the airport. That was very beautiful. And also seeing the Rath Yatra cart, the first time in San Francisco. All of those things actually make it seem very real how much hard work and effort Srila Prabhupada has put in for all of us, and we are still reaping the benefits. How lucky we are. Thank you so much for giving this gift to us.
Thank you for receiving it.
Thank you.
Now it's time to distribute. We want others to feel the same heartfelt emotion we feel. And so I feel every time I see the phone, it's powerful. The Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, just by seeing a Vaishnava, one's auspicious life has begun. And in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna, what are the symptoms of a man of transcendence? How does he sit? How does he walk? What does he say? How does he speak? There's no other way to really see it except from even in his presence or in movie. Or, you can experience the answer. I've seen Bhagavad.
And just one more thing that was very, a very emotional thing that was, I'm sure everybody shares that emotion, was how much compassion Srila Prabhupada has, that he wanted to go to the communist countries. And he just sowed one seed there, just one or two devotees, and what a big revolution he made over there. So it just shows how seriously we have to, be working on our own bhakti, because he's been there as a guiding light and he's still there for us. So yeah, that was my realization. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. That was very, I've seen this movie a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times at least. The long version, the video version, this short version. I must say, every time I see it, it's like a new experience. And it re-emphasizes our faith in Krishna consciousness, Sri Prabhupada's dedication, Prabhupada's example. And what touches me the most, actually what convinced me to join this movement, because I have been to many organizations before I came to ISKCON. What really set apart ISKCON from others is that Srila Prabhupada taught us how to be Krishna conscious, but he also taught us how to leave this world. I have not seen anyone say, look, I'm going to leave this body, come and see. I'm setting an example, a final lesson. Nobody has given that, at least not known to us. This is so widely documented. That means everything is said. It's just a time of death. That time I can't pretend, I can't do any gimmicks. That's the real thing. Then I mean, whatever is saying, you live and be perfect acharya. Thank you for bringing it out so nicely in this movie. And we are blessed to have your association too. Prabhupada is physically not present, but you are his disciples. You are a priceless wealth for our community. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Prabhu, one family who met you in Cessna, they were sort of not very happy with some things happening in ISKCON, and so they used to complain to me that we don't like this thing, that thing, and when they came to Cessna, yesterday they are telling me, wow, this is a real saint we met. And they showed me pictures which they took with you, and they say, he's a real saint. We could connect to him, and I think all that we spoke about ISKCON, every organization has some good examples, some shining examples, and some wrong things happening also. So hearing that, I felt so happy and very grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he's given, like Prabhu said, a gent like you. So thank you so much. And we are very fortunate, at least I haven't seen Srila Prabhupada, not many of us have seen Srila Prabhupada, but we are seeing you, and you've done so much service and you're still carrying on. I told my brother also, he has not even this much of pride that his movies are worldwide and they are famous all over the world. So thank you so much for that. And what touched me the most was the last lesson. It must have been so horrible for you to take those videos and pictures. Yeah, but you still did it for us. So we are very grateful to you for that also. We see that the last lesson, that video only on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. That is also so hard to see, just on one day. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Told us everything. All the way through passing and so on. Anything else? I'm just very moved by your appreciation. Has everyone heard of Jay Shetty?
Yes.
He was a pharmacist. He comes to Jeep over in Nicobar, currently every year. My wife and I are staying there part of the year. We show this film to all the Westerners from all over, from 70 countries. And it's so wonderful to see. And there was one girl in the back that they showed. We showed it to him last year. We showed him the short version, 47 minutes. And afterwards, he said, we had a theater. And he said, I must see this film once a week. And what happens is that actually we have many reviews and testimonials. What the effect is that people, devotees, one can increase their sadhana and their outreach and service for people. And that's always welcome. And through our sadhana and through outreach. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. That was a divine experience. One time, Srila Prabhupada said that I have created a society for crying for Krishna.
Yeah. I haven't heard that.
Okay.
Actually, Swami writes in his book, there's one very nice one. It says, accepting Krishna into your heart means accepting crying as occupation.
So here, Prabhu, we are trying to, on the order of our GDC, we are trying to build a temple here, as you know. We are trying to build a community also, side by side. We have 7 centers, plus youth program, plus kids programs. So we are requesting for your blessings. There are lots of challenges inside and outside we are dealing with, which is beyond our capacity. Way beyond our capacity. We don't know how, somehow, like the other Guru said, somehow we seem to get through each one. And still the task is long, got a huge load towards this thing.
I'm sure that with your sincerity and dedication and advancement in Krishna consciousness, steady advancement will be successful.
Oh, yeah.
All the lessons I have are yours, not much, but
Jai.
they're all there.
Oh, thank you, Guru. Oh, that's it. Jai. So if you have any instructions for us, we'll be very, very grateful to hear from you. And we'll try to follow that. Something to guide us, because we need a lot of guidance. When I feel very unqualified, I'm just old by age. Devotees look up to me, but I have nothing to offer. I'm just a beggar. That is true. Obviously, I have nothing. So, if you can give us some instructions to progress and how we can please Srila Prabhupada.
Everything is there in Prabhupada's books. Sri Rupa Swami in the Nectar of Devotion cites three things for advancement in Krishna consciousness. That's determination, enthusiasm, and patience. And patience is the hope. We can become enthusiastic, fired up, determined, but we have to be for the long haul, the long run, not the thing now. Enthusiastic and determined, and fired up, passionate. Patience is really with ourselves, and others, and also with the kind mind, for wonderful things to do. Prabhupada's, spent struggling with Jew properly for years. What happened? And he finally won, as always.
As always.
You have a wonderful congregation, a very sincere devotee. Just keep that going in mind, and give up the fight. But, try to fight as economically with giving wisdom, and not criminal. And we can be successful and positive.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
Something happens, you call me,
Yes. So I request you to please keep coming, giving your blessings. Today Prabhu went to our temple land in the afternoon, and we took it there midday. He was kind enough to see the whole project. Sachin Babu was taking on a tour, and Prabhu gave his blessings. So I'm sure now with your blessings you feel much stronger, more determined. The patience has to come. Thank you.
Should we have Kirtan?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, and wonderful movie. Thank you so much for putting us to Prabhupada, especially for the younger generations. Just one last question. Would you be able to share any sweet or intimate moment that you personally had with Prabhupada?
That story about coming out of his room after his massage and bath, and fully dressed in beautiful saffron cloth. As he passed by us, we smelled the sandalwood oil from the village. take this out in the dining room. Shocking, I went to the readers of it, position, because we were asked to leave the house, we went down to the, escorted out of the building and down to the streets of Mumbai. So Baba, yeah, we can follow him. We should try to become like him. Cleanse our minds and our hearts to the Prophet. This is the insincerity of all in this book of the Prophet.
Usually have got after 6:30. 6:30.
We'll have a little break on involved, is that okay? Just one other thing, the full version of the Hare Krishna movie is now on YouTube, and all the eight, it's on YouTube, all the 8 major Indian languages. Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, and Kannada. If we have relatives back in India, we can also, in your own language, if they don't speak English. It's also our Hare Krishna film on the website and subtitled in 23 languages, including Arabic and Chinese. Really, the whole world has access. Thank you.
And so this card has got the QR code. So I'm just going to pass it. You can scan it and send it to your community group. So they can also work for it in their own language.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to offer a small gift to the community for Vijay Prabhu. It's all our films on a pen drive. If you told me that you could put everything on a pen drive, all my films, like 20 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. But everything is there. It's actually over 50 hours. And there's some translations in Hindi and Bengali for many of the films. And yeah, but you can watch it anywhere. You can watch it. There's a little booklet. All the films are here. This is an adapter for your phone. So you watch it on the airplane, you can watch it in the forest, you can watch it anywhere.
You don't need Wi-Fi.
Plus, you're free to copy it. If you have a 64 gigabyte drive, you're free to copy it. So, spread it around.
Thank you for this priceless gift, or matchless gift. Thank you so much, we're so grateful to you. Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Yadavar Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. So kind of you. Very grateful.
Krishna 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 Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare